Joining us here on this show, former coach of the Washington football team, as it is currently known, and fresh off of the staff of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Jay Gruden. How are you, Jay?
Rich, I'm doing good. How you doing?
I am doing fine. What did you think of Super Bowl 55? How did that game hit you, Jay?
Well, it was fun to watch. You know, it's fun to watch the team. I think Todd Bowles did a great job with that Buccaneers defense, and obviously just put the clamps down on Patrick Mahomes. The pressure was too great for him to get anything going, and obviously Tom Brady did his normal Tom Brady efficient game, getting the ball spread around and making big plays and winning another one.
So what did Bowles do, best you can tell, that was so successful in a manner that so few teams have been able to pull off with Mahomes? What was it?
I think just kept consistent pressure on him. Really, I think the lack of, the injury to Fisher, I think, hurt a little bit. You'd feel every time Patrick went back to pass, there was somebody coming flip free, not free because it was an unblocked player at a blitz, just free because the defense was coming after him. Barrett and Pierre-Paul and Vita Vea, I mean, these guys were coming. And hats off to the effort that they played with, able to sustain that for the entire football game. You just felt like every time it was a drop-back pass, he had to abort mission and try to make something happen. And it was great. And the speed of the defense, Levante David, those guys did great in coverage, and it was just a masterpiece by the defense.
So, I mean, the fact that Fisher was out and obviously Schwartz was out, we knew that there would be some sort of piecing together of this offensive line. But then you look at the film and the numbers that come off of everything, and you could see over 90% of the time just five-man protection for Mahomes. Are you surprised that there wasn't some sort of a halftime change on that front, or there was just five-man protection for their QB?
Yeah, a little bit. I think they could have had a little bit of success maybe chipping out, but you don't want Travis Kelce to be in protection and chipping, and he's got to get out of the pattern. Maybe a running back chipping every now and then. But they've had so much success doing what they do. The Chiefs do what they do, and they let Patrick Mahomes go back there, and they'll make some people miss and make the big plays with Tyreek Hill and obviously Kelce, Harden, and those guys are great players. But, yeah, I think some chipping and some help would have been beneficial towards the end of the game.
Jay Gruden here on the Rich Eisen Show. And then the Buccaneers offense. I mean, you've obviously been so attuned to that side of the ball wherever you have been. HC or OC, it's not like a switch that can be flipped, but I mean the first 12 weeks was just so much, I guess, inconsistency, and then from week 12 on, they just kicked into a whole different gear. Did you see anything or notice anything? Obviously, you had your own house to take care of, but how does that work? I guess just in general, then, how something could just click.
I think consistency helps. I think when you have the same players playing from week 1 to week 16, you can grow with the system and you can get better. And fortunately for the Buccaneers, they didn't have a lot of injuries. Their offensive line stayed intact. Godwin, Mike Evans, they stayed intact for the most part. They get Antonio Brown late, but Tom had some good relations with him. Obviously, Jones got hurt a little bit, but they had Fournette. So they were pretty consistent with the players that they had. Gronk obviously stayed healthy. So they're able to grow as a unit. And Leftwich was able to get to know Tom, what he likes, and Tom was able to get to know Leftwich, and they were to piece it all together, come up with a plan that everybody liked and were comfortable with, and then they had some emerging stars, the guys make plays, and they peaked at the right time.
Well, obviously, you also, from your time as being an offensive assistant in Tampa, what do you think that means to that city, that they got to do it again and that Brady's there? I mean, holy crap, Jay, it's insane that it actually happened, Yeah,
it's exciting. It's exciting for the city of Tampa, that's for sure. We didn't leave on great. We didn't leave on great accord there. They fired John, and they fired my brother. They fired my brother and fired myself. So, we're kind of rooting for the Chiefs a little bit.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah. So,
all right.
I got to tell the truth right there. I mean, heck, I'd be lying if I said I was rooting for the Bucs. But, I was hoping for Andy Reid to win another one. But, it's great for the city of Tampa. My mom and dad still live there. We love the city of Tampa, that's for sure.
Okay, so city of Tampa, we can separate from the organization, is what you're saying.
Exactly. There's a big difference. I was rooting for the Double Rays and the Lightning. Does that count?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. You're almost full Dick Vitale, basically, is what you're saying. You know what I mean? Like you're almost full Dick EV rooting for everything Tampa. But see, now that's the sort of honesty that is refreshing and certainly can be brought to bear being part of the media. Is that your next step, Jay Gruden? Is that what you'd like to do? Hit the media?
I wouldn't mind doing that. Yeah, I think I like to stay involved. I love the game. I love talking about the game. I feel like there's something I can offer, that's for sure. But, I still have to get a job. A lot of these media jobs, they seem like they're easy from the couch until you actually get there in front of the cameras or you get there and you're calling a game. There's a lot of work I have to do, a lot of preparation that takes place, but definitely want to be involved one way or another.
Yeah, it is something that, a lot of people who play and certainly coach think that, you do have a ton of knowledge, but there is some sort of way to communicate. And clearly, your brother, very successful at it, and you've got the same cadence. And if you bring that sort of same honesty to the equation, that's one way to do it. So while we're on the subject of maybe truth serum, I'd like to ask you a couple questions about your tenure in Washington. Dwayne Haskins, was he your first choice for quarterback that year, Jay?
Well, we had a quarterback in-house. Obviously Alex was coming off an injury. We weren't sure he was going to play. Probably 99% sure he wasn't going to play the year after his injury. Okay, we were clear there. But we did pick up Case Keenum, and we had Colt McCoy coming back, so we did have a plan to take care of Alex for a year until he did get back. That being said, we had other needs on our defense and offense, obviously, and quarterback wasn't my first choice at 15. But, when you're not the owner and you're not the GM, then you have to live with decisions that are made. You just hope they're good for the organization, and you may not agree with them, but they are made, and you have to move forward.
Now, look, it's a dicey situation in which we're currently residing in this line of questioning, because I understand that Dwayne Haskins he's a kid, right? And so it's not like you're denigrating him or he's bad or anything like that. It's just that when you're on the board, 15 overall, you have a choice that you want to make, and it's no offense to Haskins, I understand, but who did you want to have that time?
Well, there was some guys on board. Obviously, Sweat was still there. We liked Sweat a lot. Savage was still there, the safety nickel from Maryland, who we like a lot, who's starting for Green Bay right now. We needed some speed in the secondary. So there's some issues. We just stayed pat and then kept our pick in the second round and third round, and then okay if we chose to go that route. Instead, we had to, we took Haskins, which is fine, and then we had to trade up and take Sweat, so we lost some draft capital. But, a lot to be said about Dwayne. Dwayne has a lot of potential still, I believe. We just would have rather gone a different direction and maybe hoped that Dwayne would have slipped maybe second or third round.
Right. So how difficult is it to coach somebody that was drafted by forces other than your own, Jay?
We needed a quarterback, Rich, that's for sure. So it was going to be somebody. Case Keenum was on a one-year deal. Colt McCoy is coming back from a broken leg. We didn't know if he was going to be the same Colt. So we had to get a quarterback. The other thing is we had to win right away. You know what I mean? So if you're drafting guys for potential, I don't have time for their potential to grow. I don't have 5 or 6 years for Dwayne Haskins to develop. I got to win now. And coaches, that's the big issue with coaches nowadays, is our contract's maybe 3-4 years, but you really have a year. If you don't win right away, you're gone. So you draft a guy that can develop 5 or 6 years from now. For who? He's not developing for me. It's going to be for somebody else. And that's kind of the reason why we want to go a different direction. Somebody who could help our team right away.
Jay Gruden here on the Rich Eisen Show. Give me a good story growing up with your brother, Jay. What do you got for me?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure. I know when you ask something like that of somebody about a brother, obviously you've got decades of stories. But growing up Gruden, you got a good story about growing up Gruden? You and your bro?
This is just, he gets very upset when I tell some of these stories. So
okay.
Sorry, John, but he was very impatient. I'd sit in front of the TV and we'd watch TV. He'd be sitting behind me, and if I had an itch on my leg or something, I'd scratch it, and he'd spit on me and say, "Sit still, dog boy." Just things like that. I took a beating when I was a kid, Rich. It was tough. But he's a great brother, man.
Of course. But it's just growing up.
He got me opportunities in the NFL that I would have never got without him, and obviously a head coaching job. Learned a lot from him. But growing up, not always easy.
So did you share a room? Did you guys share a room or no?
No. We didn't have a very big house, but we were close.
Okay, Look, my two boys share a room right now, and we hear them talking till like 11 o'clock, and we're telling them you could keep quiet down, keep whatever. So, but to brothers, you share a room. I mean, that's something that's really bonding. So your brother would he'd give you crap pretty much. How much older is he than you?
He's 3 years older than me.
All right.
He's 3 years older. My other brother's 3 years older than him, so and those two are exact opposites. So they fought every day, and I always just try to keep peace. I just want to play nurse basketball and knee football and stuff like that. Usually I was just breaking up fights every day.
What do you mean so your oldest brother is different than John? So they used to fight all the time, is what you're saying,
Yeah,
huh?
pretty much. Yeah, it was quite the eventful afternoon at the Gruden household.
Okay. All right. And I guess one last thing about your brother, if you don't mind. The rumor is he can't stand at quarterbacks. Any of his quarterbacks, he's always looking for another one. What do you say to that?
I don't think that's true. I think he really likes Derek. In fact, I've never heard him say a negative thing about Derek, and what they did offensively this year was really impressive in my mind. And I know he doesn't like me talking about the Raiders and all that stuff, but I was impressed with every time I put on a Raider film and watching Derek in that offense. I thought they were very good.
I thought he was dynamite. I mean, look, you could say there were look, week 17, forget about. You could say there were two quarterbacks that beat the Chiefs this year, Tom Brady and Derek Carr. That's a fact, so and I'm just talking about all the time in his career. I had Rich Gannon on. I asked him the same question, and I'm like, I asked him, actually, is it true you're the only quarterback Jon Gruden's ever liked? And he laughed. He goes, I don't even know if that's true about him.
Yeah, probably not. Well, yeah, I mean, he got his first gig at San Francisco, and I believe he was with, obviously, Joe Montana, and he goes to Green Bay as receiver coach. He was with Brett Favre. So, the standards are pretty high for him.
Right.
That's what he expects.
So if you could wave a wand, what job would you want, Jay? I mean, what do you want to do? You want to call games? You want to be in a studio? Do you have any preference? What would you like to do?
You know what? I'd like to call games, I think. I think, I could offer something quite entertaining, maybe. We'll see. I got to give it a try, though. I need a lot of practice, a lot of work. But calling games would be great. In studio would be great. I just want to talk about the game and be part of the game still. I'm sitting around here in my house right now, and Atlantic Beach is a great day, but I'm looking out the window. I don't know what to do.
What would I mean, that's why I appreciate you calling into the show. So normally you'd be
calling tomorrow too. The next day,
bring it.
Thursdays with Jay. I mean, we got that. We could work that thing going. All right. Look, I mean, so obviously you created a little bit of a stir, right, when you talked about Romo and his ability to.
Yeah, I did. That wasn't my intent. I mean, I was just messing around. I didn't know that would get picked up like that.
That's paparazzi, Jay.
Yeah, I know. That's my fault. Sorry, Tony. I was just joking around.
Like you said, you said that he was right only 30% of the time. Jay, is that what you said? Something along the line, like that.
I don't watch him enough to really know. I was just making a point. I could guess. Anybody could guess the play before it happens 30% of the time, right? Hey, it's a run. Hey, Mahomes is going to drop back here. He's going to look for Kelsey or Hill. How about that?
I mean, he's not wrong.
It's not that complicated.
He's not wrong.
It's a very simple game when you think about it,
Yeah.
It's pretty...
Dead on.
You're hired, Jay, but I'm not in charge. You're not. I'm not in charge. But if hey, look, if there's anything I could do to help, I'd love to do it. I appreciate it.
All right, you just get ready for the next 40-yard dash. You going to run 40-yard dash this year or not?
Jay, I am going to do it. There's no combine, but we just announced today, as a matter of fact, that it's going to be sort of reimagined in a way. I'm going to still run, but other people don't have to run. They could do anything with a 40. Just run the 40 steps, or do 40 errands for somebody in need, or run 40, 4.0 miles. Not saying someone to run 40 miles, but I'm going to run. I'm going to run in a straight line. I'm going to run like the wind,
Great cause. I mean,
thanks, Jay.
You give great effort. I mean, it's awesome. Big fan.
Effort. It is. I do give good effort. The problem is it just doesn't show up in the stat sheet. That's my problem.
When you lose a lot of players and you're playing with second and third string players a lot of times, and they give good effort, it doesn't usually show up in the win-loss column either, Rich. So understand that.
Okay, Jay. I appreciate that. Thanks for the call. You take care of yourself. Let's do it again.
Thanks, Rich.
Let's do it again soon. You got it. That's Jay Gruden, everybody. Right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.